career as a graphic designer, where I learned a lot about VFX, especially how to use After Effects and 3D software, which really helped me till now. Like during my 10 years of experience working for different games, till now it helps me. So first job really gives you a lot, uh, in my opinion. So, as a concept artist, environment especially. So, what is my role uh, in the company? What they they expect me to do is creating environments, basically environment concepts, finish backgrounds, and sometimes level design, environment level design. As you can see uh, over here, this is like a basic level design for the temple scene, and these are the backgrounds for hidden object games. And this one is just a concept for Doctor House for film film animation. And this is also an arena for turn-based game for mobile. So you can see the different varieties you have to handle it. And on the other hand, it's called these are the 3D props, in which I was using 3D software. I can go for 2D as well, like completely making an orthograph in an orthographic view. But since I know 3D, so it really helps me to create all these props fast and neat and clean. It's very precise. There will be no perspective issue as well. So it's really helpful to use 3D. So this is generally when I was during my first two jobs, especially like graphic designer. Then I moved to gaming industry, uh, working as a background artist, creating backgrounds for hidden object games, which is kind of similar to concept art, environment concept art. And then when I moved to Ubisoft, and they're having a pipeline for their games. So, which is right now most of the companies are following, mobile gaming companies, since mobiles are getting very powerful and strong. So, most of the games are now moving towards using through Unity, Unreal Engines, or Unity. So, so what is a pipeline for them? So basically, the first department is concept art, which is us. We create concept art, so many sketches, environments. It depends on the themes of the game and the pitch. Then we give it to that concepts to 3D artists, where 3D artists go for 3D process, creating the environment, props, characters, using their software like 3D and ZBrush as well. Then we use then 3D artist goes to the technical artist, and they themselves integrate create this setup for Unity, integrating the all the scenes, all the materials into the gaming engine to see how they look in the games. Because whatever they're doing in 3D, it looks nice, with the great lighting setups, great textures, high details. But how it's actually gonna visible in the gaming engine, that matters, because that's the one the player gonna play. So this is the basic pipeline we follow in general, like all the gaming in mobile gaming industries are following right now. And what is my workflow? I follow two workflow, especially my general workflow for 2D concepts is like collecting the references. Yes, you can see here. This is one of my recent daily sketches, in which how I proceed to my concept and illustration. So collecting the reference depending on the era or descriptions, and then you take that reference and create the concept. You don't have to copy it. Like you can take the elements from each references and uh, make your own concept, and that there you go. And you can see here's process as well for better understanding actually. So my process is directly go as a paint. I don't do any sketch before prior to the drawings. I like doing with the paint. There you go. You guys can hear me, right? Because I can't see uh, anybody and I can't hear anyone as well. Just to make sure. And and the second, all right, cool. So on my second workflow is 3D based. I mix 3D with my 2D workflow. For example, like clients ask me, like I have to create this subway for their game, or there is a concept for subway. So based on New York or Japan, it depends the location. So this is based on the New York based. So what we do is just collecting the references first, various location, various lighting conditions, and everything. Then once we done, we start directly moving to creating the 3D block. This is the uh, if you have any, okay, all right. So this is a Blender software which is free, so anybody can use it, and it's very powerful. In my workflow, I use basically 3D software, 3ds Max, but I'm also to start learning 3D, Blender and using more and more because of its great rendering setups and materials, lighting setup actually as well. So then I created the 3D modeling and lighting setups, everything. This gives us freedom as an artist for the to give the clients various camera angles whenever you want. I mean, you don't have to sketch again for the clients. It's very good for the clients to see various camera angles in a very short period of time. So here you can see these are the different camera angles. Once we're done with this rough setups, and you don't have to do texturing as well. I did the texturing as well. Basic grayscale rendering is also works for the clients. And once they selected the camera angle, the lighting setups, the mode for their concert, we directly jump into the doing the 3D texturing if you like, and depends on which is easier for you. If you happy to do paint over or adding textures in Photoshop, that also work, or you can do on 3D and take the quick render. So here, like this, I did the tile level textures, which is pretty easy, and I put it over there since it's a subway, so you can see so many tiles texture over there. And then I moved to Photoshop to do final touch up, adding depth, adding details, text, and everything, and the character as well. So this is my workflow, which is including 3D as well. And to be frankly, this is my main workflow because of the uh, because it's very fast as well, and it's uh, no perspective issue. Lighting you can do. There will be a nice lighting for the environment, and a lot of option for clients in general. So and it's a quick instead of paint over doing sketching, painting, and everything. I prefer this one. Now in games, and I go for a more professional workflow for my games. So what are my jobs? What I have to do over there when they say, "Oh, there is a game, and we have to create some concepts for the environment." So basically, we start with the rough sketches, depending on the competitive game. Uh, how their styles are there, and so we check all those things, take the references, and we start making sketches, thumbnail sketches, silhouette sketch to give the idea shapes wise, various like trees, props, rocks, bridge, and all that, and also environment level sketches. This is depends on the game designer. They come with the level design, and then you have to give them rough sketch as a visual for them, so they will get the idea that whatever they're designing, it actually works and it's gonna be look nice. So you have to create a level design such as like maps with a different location, like a desert, lava area, and the greenery, waterfall. So how it's connected to each other. Just a rough. It doesn't have to be very neat and clean. Just a rough idea. Here you can see these are very rough, like image manipulation and already existing, maps. It's just for giving the rough idea to the our level designers. Now, in the 3D models, sometimes you depends on the skill. Since I know 3D as well, so I was also involved in doing the 3D model for the environment assets. So what we do is like creating the block out first, very exaggerated shapes because of the mobile screen. It's very small. So having the real time shapes and textures is not going to work. So we have to exaggerate and less noise for the audience. And less noise is obvious because you have to, because it's a small screen, adding more noise and realistic textures is like doesn't audience doesn't like it. They like very saturated, bright, exaggerated shapes right now. That's why you see so many games, especially in mid casuals, are doing very well. And hand painted textures or semi realistic, not getting so many highly realistic textures, and clear silhouettes, which is very important because of this, again, the same small screen, and the reference gathering for concept arts and for the relative competitive games. Also play their games to get the ideas about their general art style and how it works in the environments. So these are the preparation we do before going to the final. As a for the whole process, I'm giving you one example. Like when we get the, like there is a tower we have to create. So we go for the first collecting some references based on the your game style and our station. I mean our style. So we collect the references. We do the various sketches based on the your reference, and once we get it, one is get finalized, we create the final version of it. Like here you can see these are the finished this is the finished art 2D concept, and this is the unity render. It's not like a 3D render, it's a unity render how it's gonna look over there. And the texture involves 3D sculpts based on ZBrush and Blender. And also I use the 3D paint in Blender, which is very powerful. And final texture map in Photoshop, adding more highly details, paint the highlights, and giving the fake specular materials to the environment. Can you share how you use colors? How do you? Sure. I mean, in your environment, we have to create a visual. I mean, usually it goes. Most of the games are like stylized 3D, not very much realistic. You can just see PUBG like a realistic one, but apart of that, it's all the mid-casual games or casual games always prefer stylized 3D or 2D concept, 2D game, very bright, saturated, big shapes, exaggeration, such as you can see Supercell games, King games, Candy Crush, and Brawls, and many various companies are, even the Ubisoft. If you see fish-based game, and right now they also released Orient company. They released one game called Elite Squad, which I worked over there. So the concept was pretty much realistic, but the game, the game, it was the game was not so much realistic. It's basic exaggerated shapes, simple 3D one. And for the color theory, I use I mean, it depends on the visual metaphors for the environment. I mean, the players has to understand which area he's playing, and it's an enemy area, it's a friends area. So we have to put the colors in the and some sign like flags. So flags can be having a blue color or red color for enemy, blue color. So we have to create such visual metaphors inside the environment to give the player idea that they are in the enemy area or they are in the friend area. So that's how we use particularly, and I hope I answered the your question correctly. And for basically colors, it goes like basic understanding how like how tower are were there. It made of concrete with wooden structure, and wooden is all generally a brown color, so we use brown color. So we use uh, color example from the existing in our environments, and we make them as a stylized, more saturated, neat and clean, not adding much details. As you can see here, the tiles are very exaggerated and clean. You don't see much of the noise, so the whole shapes is pretty visible, and the details is also very visible. Now this is the process, like I was talking about. Like we create the concept, then we go to 3D, and from 3D we now the once we done the texture, here we have a 3D ready tower. Now we have to implement this in Unity. For this, we try like a uh, merge the textures, various textures passes you took from the your 3D software, like ambient occlusions, specular map, diffuse map, and we combine them together. You can see here how the texture methodology. I mean, we use AOPass, grayscale details from the Blender, and diffuse paint. These are like we combine together and then create one beauty map for the asset. Since because right now mobiles are not that powerful, so we have to uh, compromise with the textures using one and small size texture. As you can see, the original texture we paint always it will be in bigger scale, so that whenever in the future the companies can use when they update the games, they can use the original size to give them more quality, or a smaller version to 512 or 256 as well we use for the for the for the assets. Depends on the size of each assets, how small or bigger they are in the environment. With that keep in mind, we just change the texture size. It can go to 60 uh, 60 uh, 60 60 size as well, 512 to 56, 128 or 1K as well. And we keep the character for character we go for 2K like minimum. So this is a texture style. I mean, this can be a different for various games. Depends on it. A part of ambient and diffuse map, we use normal pass as well. When we do uh, sculpting, we also take that normal map, and also the detail map. They have one called, it's very white and black, and also like specular, depends on the materials. When if the assets having so much metal area, metal parts, so we use specular as well, specular map. And It depends on the assets, to be honest. It's but in generally we go for like AO map, normal map, and diffuse map. These three works very well. AO map, I mean normal map to give you details pretty quickly, so it reduces your work and dependency on Photoshop. In Photoshop, you just have to paint a little bit, and it already gonna look nice. Since, for example, this tower, we use ZBrush sculpt and Blender Paint for to hide any 3D paint is basically it's very means important and it's very useful when you have to hide the seams, because in Photoshop hiding the seams is pretty painful. So 3D software is very good over there, and that also reduce your time to dependency on uh, keeping the UV layout in a very nice way. So you don't have to much worried about the UV layout as well, since you're gonna 3D paint the texture. So see, already seams are not gonna visible. And so artists is also have in charge of their assets to implement integrate into the Unity, because there will be so many assets. Since right now it's one, but there's a huge team working and creating so many props. So each artist are responsible for their assets to also integrate in the existing a game library where everybody is putting their assets, and it will be visible for everyone. Any must try courses for learning art? I mean, you can learn lighting. Especially lighting is very important. Light and color theory, these are the two major things which plays role. I mean, detailing the environment, it's not that much appealing, since a lot of things are done by lighting and depth. So I will suggest like learning uh, light, color theory, and depth, especially for environment. It's a must. It will really enhance your art very quickly. And detailing doesn't play much role. So yeah, these three is very important. So here we in the Unity. So once we done with the environment assets, so now I'm responsible, like other artists, to integrate your own scene assets into the game. So for that we use like uh, three methods. You can just simple like any other software, you can drag and drop in gaming engine. And also you can go to assets, import assets, or you can click on the this is a Unity interface basically. So import your scenes, and once you import, you will see this icon. So this means it's a mesh. It's not a prefab. It's not each engine's having their own file version. It's just like prefab. Yeah, I mean all one vertex means one draw calls. So basically keeping keeping less avoiding unnecessary 5 point vertex. It's a prefer in this industry, and even the programmers will come to you and ask you to reduce it. So basically the wireframe should be very good. So I think each when you go for learning 3D modeling, this is the first thing they will tell you, that the wireframe flow, the mesh flow should be very neat and clean and optimized. And for the gaming, it should be super optimized. And we also create the different level, depends on the how close close it is to the camera. And if it's very close to camera, it switches to high detail assets. When it's very far away from the camera, it switches to uh, low poly object of the same. So we get the 3D vision basically of each assets depends. So the programmers will call according to the camera, the camera how far it is. So yeah, basically, I don't know, maybe just a wireframe, having a smooth wireframe and optimize will really help to use the draw call. And for less number of materials, we use a multi-purpose map, which we create the very big map, 2K 2K size or 3K size sometimes, where we put where we combine uh, all the maps, different maps of wood, metal, the generic materials. So whenever the asset we use this. Can you guys hear me again? Hello? Hello? Still okay? Still- Hello? Can you guys hear me? Sorry guys, I don't know what's the problem. Okay, so I will make it quick this one. So basically for the all right, cool. So basically, the person asked me questions to reduce the less number of materials. So for reducing the less number of materials, we just combine one textures, like creating a texture atlas. We say texture atlas actually, in which we put various uh, textures, so which we share with different objects and assets. So one textures work for a lot of assets, and it can have only one material. I mean, so you solve the problem like having one material for like 50 or 20 objects. So that's how we work, for reducing the number of materials. And this is very useful. So the question was very nice and it was very good actually to reduce draw calls and number of materials. So a lot of times we just spend reducing the draw calls, changing the model again, and also optimizing the texture as well. I mean, it goes for 3 to 4 designs. We don't spend much of the time since we have collect the reference and with the direction of art director. I mean, if you don't have an art director, then it's going to be really problem. So if you have art director, then everything works very smooth. So 2 3 iteration is good enough because we will just combine different materials from various sketches and finalize the one. And sometimes we also change uh, at the end of the game as well. if it's not working according to the designer. So designer is involved in each assets, especially like such as tower, and not for the rocks or some trees. Designer don't care about this. The buildings which gonna work for, like attack, defense, and characters. So designers always involved because they are the one who's designing and giving the feedback for your mechanism for all the your assets, props. So they involve, if they like it, the work is working perfectly, so it's good. So artists and art departments only having a choice to come with the design to look and fit very well for the game. For the designing how it's gonna work, we have to do changes according to our designers. So designers plays very big role as well in designing, especially uh, props assets which attack and having some mechanism. And so here is a pretty much, this is my personal work I was doing. So giving an idea like the naming, you have to keep the naming properly as well, and how I use different assets. So for the use the background you see, it's completely was just a projection of one image. So sometimes we have to also cheat like that. I mean, you don't have to model everything. You just use the camera projection, because if the camera is fixed, you can just cheat a lot because it's not moving. So a lot of things we do in Photoshop, creating a fake, using 3D as well. You can use a 3D block out and paint over it and use as a simple projection on the plane. So you save a lot of 3D modeling and everything, and the game is optimized as well. So this is, you see, it's a camera mobile render. So how it's gonna look while you play the game, and how it is in the when you're making a game as well. So a lot of iteration, lots of cheat you have to play, especially for mobile games, since they are not so great as a console. So yeah, we have to keep that in mind, and then we just come with so many tricks and tips to reduce it and make it give best quality as possible as well. So, and yeah, I think, yeah, and since I'm an environment artist, so already I'm also inclined towards photography as well. So I do is basically environment photography. It really helps my work as well to to learn lighting scenarios, how the light interact, dark, night, evening. So yeah, this is very good exercise and hobby if you are environment artist to keep taking photos. You don't have to take the DSLR for that. Even almost all mobile are very powerful, having a powerful cameras. So yeah, keep taking photos as well. It's a very nice and fast way to learn about uh, those. Oh, thank you. So yeah, this is very fast way. It's a shortcut to learn very quickly, because everybody's see how sun it is. Normal person can also say sun is in sunset it's orange, but photography is put your mind to or think about it and what you're seeing and what you're capturing. So it's a very good exercise to learn about lighting, depth, and perspective, and also rule of third, golden rules we say, which is a prime thing when you're making any kind of concepts or backgrounds for mobile games or any general games and film backgrounds as well. Thank you. So yeah, pretty much this is my workflow for creating games, backgrounds for the games, and film animation as well. So if you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask. I will answer it. Hello? All good? Substance matter. It depends prefer to each artist. I mean, Ubisoft. In Ubisoft, you can use any software. They don't push people to use only those software which they have. So yeah, you can use Substance Painter. People use uh, like Substance Painter, Blender having the 3D paint. So we I use Blender for that. So people use Substance Painter if they know it. So it's always good, whichever software you use, the end result matters, to be honest. The art director and the clients, they always want end result. So whatever the medium you have, you can go for it. Do you sketch for concept? Absolutely. You have to, like props, you do the same process, like creating two, three iteration and then selecting one. And then, yeah, keep keep polishing the selected one. How does the rigging and animation workflow ties with the mobile games? I mean, if you are animators, you have to, I mean, in general, if you are working for film industry as well, the animators should have a knowledge of rigging as well because it's both linked together. And the mobile games, it's not that much important like is in the animation industry. It is basically the cycle. You have to create so many cycles uh, of the animations like walking, running, fighting, attacking, and then programmers, it's a loop. So and the programmers will implement to see how it is. I think that's what I know with my animators who in Ubisoft. Can you recommend any good free course? I mean, there are a lot of courses and free tutorials available in our YouTube's. Many artists put over there for free, and if you can also get many free, I think free and paid in very cheap. I think $2-3, not much, from various artist websites and and their profile as well in ArtStation, artstation.com. It's very good. I'll write I'll write down there. Yeah, this website have it's a, like artist pool, so many artists you can find so many individual tutorials over there and any practice tips. I mean, for beginners, I will go for don't go for highly detailed environment or highly detailed characters if you're character artist or even the props. Start with this very simple, like simple box, cylinder, cone shapes, and check how it looks, and start learning about the lighting from the start and about the material. I mean, material plays a role. People, I've seen people making characters, but their skin look plastic. I mean, they are good in smudging and mixing the brush colors of the skin, but the color itself doesn't look like a skin. It looks like a plastic. So learn about the materials, various materials, leather, how specular works, affect each other, and lighting. Lighting plays a very big role, even if you're character artist or environment. So I will go for simple background, simple characters, and focus on lighting. And how many vertex tries can go for scene? Yeah, so maximum we keep the for the any environment props we keep under 2K, 2K or 3K. We can't go more than that for any environment assets. For characters we can go for 5K to 10K sometimes tries. For the environment asset we don't go for much, and the minimum lowest can go for like 256 tries as well. I mean, the smaller the assets, the smaller the numbers are. Hang on, I don't know Blender. I mean, if you know, uh, so Keshav asked me, I don't know Blender, but I know Photoshop and Substance. Should I give Blender Paint Texture a try? I mean, if you know already Substance Painter or Photoshop, I think it's enough because Substance Painter is kind of like a 2D, 3D software, and Blender is complete. It's a mix actually. Blender, they put everything together in one software, and it's very powerful and really nice as well. And I use Blender because it's a free and it's powerful. For Substance Spencer, I have to buy purchase and which is very expensive. So I don't recommend, I don't like it that. So I go for Blender. It works the same. But since you already know Substance Painter, I think it's good enough. But Blender is just a 3D software. I mean, it includes a lot: modeling, lighting, even the lighting. Even their render engine is so good. It gives you so beautiful environment render quickly. I mean, it really speed up your process. Shashmita is asking for hold on for concept art part of the pipeline. Is it an absolute necessary to learn 3D? No, it's not absolutely necessary to learn 3D, of course. But if you want to just use 2D, you have to be a very big be pro. I mean, something special you have. If you are creating some design, like there is a concept art and there is a concept design. If you are in design, yeah, so you have to be very talented for that. I mean, people hire for only for design as well. So if you are good in that, uh, so you can use 3D or 2D, only 2D as well to convey your design. I mean, company don't care; they just want to see your design, so it's okay. But in general, 3D is getting more powerful and it's easy. And since we're having a VR as well, uh, so I think 3D, many games are going in towards the 3D use of 3D since mobiles are getting very powerful, as I said before. So having a 3D knowledge is really helpful actually. Lots of artists, even the top industry artists who never touch the 3D are also learning 3D, upgrading themselves. So it's both, but I will recommend learning 3D. It's always good to have more skills. It's give you so many ideas to fix one problem. If you know software, you get you open your mind to various other options. Like sometimes I go directly for 3ds max. I don't, if I find something which is easier than Blender, I go for 3ds max. So it's always good to have a choice. Hold on, guys. Oh, I just missed. Yes, yeah, Vedang said like I meant to complete complexity of rigging and character. No, it's not that complex. I think it's not that much requirement as you see in the animation industry. There is and in gaming industry, I don't think so. It's that much necessary. Even the beginner, fresh graduate in from the animation animators, they can also join a top industry with a good portfolio. That's also work. Do you use graphic tablet? Yeah, of course. I mean, I use Intuos Pro for my computer and iPad Pro for Procreate. and I'm leaning towards more using iPad Pro. It's fast and it's easy and fast, yeah. And I use my PC only for creating a 3D and sometimes adding details in Photoshop. Sure. Here. So this is as I create start modeling. You can start. This. So, and then adding lights over here. You can see these black lines. These are lights actually. So adding lights and this is done in Blender. So Blender one so once you add the light, it's already giving you so many nice render setups. As you can see here, these are like a render, 3D render. I didn't do anything in Photoshop. Just a basic colors on the materials and then light setup, and you're done. You get this render, and later on you can add some details depth in Photoshop with this render. And in this render, I didn't use much of the passes as well, like AO pass, specular pass, nothing. It's just a simple render. As you can see, this is a beauty render completely. There is no pass. So I just took this one, and then everything you can do in Photoshop. I mean, it's a still image, so you don't need much of the passes, to be honest. If the scene is movable and the camera movement is there, there you can use a specular map and various map. There are so many tons of passes in 3D software, which is useful for uh, composition when the camera is moving. For single screen, I think the singles render is works fine. I hope answer correctly, Janvi, right? I mean, if I'm gonna show, it will take like a lot of time, like creating the model and everything. It takes times, but in general, uh, like for example, this scene, I took around like 3 days. 3 days is enough from the reference collecting and you know modeling, lighting setups. It takes around 1 to 2 days, and the last day we just take the render and did everything, adding details in Photoshop. So you pretty much done within 3 days, and maximum to maximum 4 days if the client's having more feedback. Blender is actually it. Yeah, I mean it's getting popular now because the recent update of Blender was super nice. It's completely changed from the previous one. So a lot of people, a lot of artists are start using, even the industry start using it. In Asia mostly, like Korea, Japan, they start implementing Blender into their company. The people, artists start using it. And hold on guys, I believe that knowing 3D. So Rashi Chandra asking, I believe that 3D modeling help environment art illustration. Yes, exactly. I mean, it's not necessary to have a 3D knowledge for concept artist or previous artist. Previous for like if you are targeting or working in film or animation industry, it's not that, but it's good to have. You don't know future. It's already within 5 years. I mean, years back it wasn't easy to oh my god, you should have 3D knowledge. And yes, you most. And it's always good to have a extra skill. It helps your existing families like environment. Oh, it's breaking again. Just let me know when it's getting better because I don't know, I have no clue what breaking. Seriously, or tea instead of donuts, you have tea as well. Or it's really off topic while so asking, then ask. Sorry. So yeah, it's free because this screen and not put noise, disturb the players. So companies always prefer to have a exaggerated. Please wait. Hello, hello. I think it was seconds after that it was right. Okay, guys, hear me now? Just let me know in the comment section when it's get better. It might take some seconds. I still working. Still, it's still breaking. Okay, cool. Chintan asked me what are your thoughts in statistic topics in industry. Is it absolutely, and it's it will remain is it and uh, you know like real estate or company. It's a different always main industry and it depends on the choice direction of the each game. Each it's nothing to do with sometimes with oh it's a but people use talent because it's good. I mean, it's effective to see and quality also at the yeah. And it's still breaking. But I mean, wrong for a consumer, absolutely. I mean, photo bashing it's also a skill. I mean, it's not like you just know Photoshop and you start photo bashing. It will work. Let's wait for let's wait for a few now. Okay, okay, cool. I mean, okay, so I'm gonna answer again. So Sangam asked me, is photo bashing wrong for a good concept artist? So I was saying it's not bad. I mean, it's also a skill, a good skill. Not everybody's just know Photoshop can do photo bashing. No, you still need a lot of knowledge, more at writing, learning. So yes, but it helps for gaming or those are years. I mean, they are not gonna use uh, publishing the book or at the game. No. So this is really to create a great. So it's a good skill. It's absolutely fine. I will encourage somebody want to really interested in a environment. So bashing is good. The website. Sorry. Last question, not the last one. Okay. So Ashwant asked me how much time editing should go into a concept production. Frankly, the user appeal is in general because which is which is realized by others and so always get a little still still lagging. Hello. Oh God, serious. I mean, just let me know when it's fine. Can't hear what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, let me know in the comment. So I will count. No idea what's going on. Right. Can you say still so it goes from 3 to 3 and people uh, uh, and it's not you you will get to any material or any assets name as well. At that time we all 6 months, I think, for the the as and all. Then it goes to three, where the three is uh, everything, all the and all people. You can break still what's Hello, can you guys hear me now? Thumbs up. I think yeah. Okay, cool. So I will answer these two quickly. Uh, f- so where is just one? So yeah, 3 to 6 month is the general time period for concept art. Pre-production actually, where we pre-production teams create concepts and generate ideas and creating so many assets sketches. Then also simultaneously it goes to 3D guys, and 3D guys start creating 3D model of it, keeping the designer in mind. And yeah, and it will remain till the end of the game, because any change can happen until the game is not released. So they always stay in touch with the whole team, production and post production team. And can you share the ideas how to take reference for, I mean, for ideas there are multiple sites. Thanks to the one unmarked images. So I use a lot of Pinterest, and you can go Flickr, 500 pixel, a lot, Google isn't used by, I think it's a better guide to find the differences. And, market, uh, that, set the key for the market so that he can promote, uh, uh, marketing and more designing for the. I think just give thumbs up. I can find below. So in the getting into also, yeah, AI based it not do all of AI, and not make the art, just having you to take your time on a task. Like for example, UV, you will and use of 3D paint to not spend so much time to lot of it help from the that's how you know the real depth to, to what's going on. So once you can get finding out to see why to as we here people uh, guys and listening